What's up, guys? What's up, girls? Hope you guys are doing just fantastic. Walking here up green, $2,000. Well, not quite, $1,950. And I'm real grateful, absolutely grateful to be up $1,900 because most of the day I was red. I was green about $900 right at the start of the day, and then I quickly rolled deep into the red, at one point even going to $3,100 red. And at that point I was like, oof. I told myself $3,000 is my max loss because I made $6,000 yesterday, so I'm like, all right, let me keep it half the size of yesterday's win and it will be okay. $3,000 is still pretty big, but I was trading a risky stock. Not only that, it was low volume. SST, I traded that yesterday. Did okay on it. It wasn't easy though. It wasn't easy yesterday because there was a lot of times where I was just getting stopped out or chopped out or it just wasn't going. And that was much the case today, but even to a greater extent because the volume was even lighter. There was a nice push at the open, and this is probably what got me deep into the red and what got me overly aggressive is, first of all, I traded SST yesterday, I made $6,000. So I was like, all right, I'm a little biased here to SST. Daily chart looked like we could break over 29. I saw that. So right at the open, I was pretty aggressive. And the first pattern I got in, it worked. I got in like 2,200 or 4,500 shares, and it was looking like I was about to make over $2-3,000 had, if the pattern was to work. Pattern didn't really work, so I sold out for a small profit, which I thought was a small profit, but that small profit was still $900. So I'm like, okay, well that's pretty nice that I got into a trade that didn't really work out and I still made $900. So that led me to believe that I was just a hero and that I was invincible and that I could make any trade. Well, that's a big lizard. Woo! Yikes. I was wondering what that was. Anyway, I thought it was a hero. I thought it was invincible. So I started throwing around shares probably a little too loosely for such low volume on SST. And so very quickly I lost all that 900 and I was down to negative 700. And then that just opened up a can of worms. I'm like, God dang it. And so I kept trading. Next thing you know, I'm down 1,500, 1,700, 2,000. Then someone calls out LIXT, I think the name of it was. That thing was strong, but choppy and whippy and hard for me to ever get a good entry on. So I lost about 450 on that. So now I'm down like $2,000, 2,500. Through the next few minutes, I found myself down $3,000, and I told myself to shut down there. Well, you know what I did. I didn't follow that. I didn't follow that rule. I didn't follow my rule that I set up even for that day, just in that morning, because my max loss is usually like 1,000. But I was like, for today, I'll do 3,000 since yesterday I made 6. And SSC is a risky stock. It is risky. So I was like, high risk, high reward. I can make it all back if it starts going in my favor. It never really did. And so I was kind of in limbo for a while, like just waiting for SST. SST was starting to curl, but slowly, minute by minute, just chop, then it flushed a little bit, chop. But it was moving up, and I knew the stock was a short squeeze candidate because it was even in the news feed. I mean, top 5 stocks, possible short squeeze. It's up way higher than usual. I'm sure there's some people that are underwater. So I'm not the only one thinking that. Anyway, SST kind of is doing its thing. I'm maybe scalping back a couple $100 here and there, but not, I got to 2,500, then I got to 1,500, then I was back to 2,400 red. Anyway, fast forward a little bit. Someone in the Discord, T11, called out ANTM, I believe. He calls it out, and I look at it. Usually I kind of overlook those call outs because in the past I've gotten screwed on listening to other people's call outs. Anyways, I listened to this call out. I go over there and I'm like, yep, chart looks good, breaking through VWAPs in breakout mode. And you'll see in the recap. Anyways, I jump in it. I start trading it. Boom, 7,500 shares. I catch like a nice 50-cent win. And in about one trade, I made about $3,000. And just like that, I come right out of the hole to up like $800, $900 green on the day. And I'm like, cha-ching. Take a few more trades on it. Sadly, it kind of died off quicker than I thought it would. I mean, the action on it was really nice. Like the spots I got in, it was like instant resolution. Like instant. There was no waiting. So that saved the day. T11's call outs saved the day, and keep them coming, guys. Keep those call outs coming. Now, we don't need to call out every stock that's moving, but ATM was definitely a legit stock. It was on the gap scanner. It had volume. I mean, there was volume, and it wasn't like a dead stock. There was people trading it. It was above VWAP. It was the perfect stock to call out. Absolutely perfect. And I listened to it, and it literally saved the day because that stock was not on my scanner. My settings were limited to 20 million share float. Well, that one was 21 million. So I probably need to go back, and I actually did go back and I changed my settings to allow to up to 40 million share float, because I don't know, it wasn't on my scanner. It had T11 not called that stock. So here we are, guys. $2,000 traded 4 stocks today. Red on 2, green on 2. Red 600 on SST. Red 400 on LIXT. But green 3,000 on ATNM. Iowa City, Iowa. Luck. Um, didn't really trade UUU. Just wasn't really providing much. SST was the stock I traded yesterday and why I was biased on it. It looked like we were going to break 29 on it. Right out of the gates, I took a trade on it right here, buying this candle right here. We got to push up. I got in around 25.8. We got to push up to 26.6, and I had a nice win. I thought we'd break the pivot up here at 26.82, and I would have locked in a nice win because I was in 4,500 shares here. Anyways, I stopped out on this candle here. Actually, I don't know if I even held through to these candles. Stopped out either here or here. Still made $900, even though I like basically stopped out or just marketed it out to get out because it wasn't working. It wasn't working how I thought it was going to work. I was like, wow, I still made $900, and in the trade didn't even work. I'm like, it gave me a lot of confidence, and I just thought I was a hero, like I was saying earlier. And so I started trading this thing, buying all these dips, but it just sold off. Nothing there. We did get a nice slow grind back up where I was able to scalp back a little bit, but I was mainly red. I was red on it like $2,000 the whole day. Scalp back a little bit. It wasn't until up in this area that I was able to get a nice win for the break of high day. We broke high day by like 3 pennies, and then it dumped. Pushed back up, double topped here, dumped. Now we're sort of coiling up here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a breakout up to 29 and to break the 29 level. That would not surprise me in the least, but it's just I'm done trading with that crap. The winner today, thanks to T11, is ATNM, which had a short stint, unless it's going now, had a short stint of momentum, of which I traded, all thanks, and for no other reason than T11 calling it out, because it wasn't on my scanner. My scanner apparently was on strict settings, so it wasn't allowing the stock to pop up. And it was on the gap scanner, but it sold off, and I wasn't watching it at all. It sold off. It wasn't of much interest, but for some reason it curled, broke VWAP, and it really picked up volume here, and in which case I started taking stabs here. My best trade was right here. Let me see if I can pull that up real quickly, because that is the trade that saved the day. That is the trade that pulled me out of the depths of hell and saved my butt. So right here, 15,000, or is that 1,500? It looks like 15,000. Okay, so there's probably a few different trades in here, but as you can see here, they must have grouped it together. So I took a couple trades, and they probably averaged about, I guess, I don't know. Anyways, the best trade was right here. I guess 15,000 shares, which I didn't have one position of 15,000 shares. They're just combining two 7,500 share positions. So essentially a 15,000 share position from 714 up to 729. So that's about, what is that? That's only 15 cents on 15,000 shares. What is the math on that? 3,000, right? So 15,000 shares, every 10 cents is 1,500. No, that's not quite 3,000. Anyways, this was my best trade. I was waiting for it to break down below this because I was like, all right, it's losing steam. The sellers are going to want to have their share of the action. So we'll let them get their break here. Bought it, and it ripped way nicer than I ever could have thought. Sadly, it looks like my average was pretty high, 714. That's a pretty high average. I'm not happy about it, especially because I was waiting for this trade for a long time. I was waiting for it to break down. I should have gotten here. I should have been in 686, sold out on the break here, which it did squeeze up higher than I ever would have thought. But I did take a trade here, 7,500 shares, 693 out. I guess not for much of a win. So it was really just this trade right here. Took a couple of trades. I took one trade down here, real quick scalp, in 7,500 here at 96, out at 98, kind of. And so about 2 cents. That's like $150. This was from 80 to that. This was actually a better trade really, because it was in 1750 at 680, out at about 690, almost 10 cents, $170. From there, I stopped trading it. And it just so happened that right when this one died off, SST, as I was recapping earlier, that's when SST was pushing high day again. I saw it, even T11 saw it was heating up, and it ended up breaking. I got chopped around a little bit, but at one point I got in 4,500 shares. I don't know if that's represented here. SST, I don't know. They split it up a little bit differently than what I actually had, but 4,500 here, 2644, and then I don't know. Basically, here was my last trades to break at a high, selling up at the highs. Doesn't look like I got that great of a fill. Definitely just hitting the market button. So I'm not getting the ask. I'm not getting the 80 sadly, but still getting profit. I'm still locking in that profit because it didn't take long for this thing to come back down. Did crawl all the way back up, but again, this is just how many minutes of chop. Lots of chop. So, uh, a surprisingly green day. Surprisingly green day because I at one point I was red 3000. I won't recap it all over again, but yeah, I mean, just all thanks to T11. Close call today, and you're not always gonna get out of the red like that. Sometimes you're just gonna have to take the L. So with that said, I'm gonna head out for my day to get my day started, and I will be back tomorrow. Peace.